Have you ever wondered why, even knowing what you truly want, you often feel an almost uncontrollable urge to act differently? Why do certain decisions seem tainted by an invisible concern? What will others think? You adjust your behavior, choose words carefully, suppress opinions not because it reflects who you are, but because you fear the discomfort of disapproval. If honest, you'll realize you seek approval. We all do. Therein lies the trap. Society wasn't designed for your authenticity. It was designed for you to adapt. Since childhood, you learned acceptance is valuable currency. Pleasing generates reward. Obedience guarantees belonging. Unknowingly, you were conditioned to confuse personal worth with external validation, rooting the quest for approval deep in your psyche. The hidden cost. The more you seek acceptance, the further you drift from yourself. Your choices become fear-shaped. Your behavior's a theater. Your freedom a performance for invisible audiences. You become a hostage to others' opinions. Your life ceases to be yours. And if you are seeking to understand and break free from this pattern, you should consider the insights in this video essential viewing. At least once in your journey, Carl Jung stated, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But how, if trapped in a character built to survive? This is the tragedy of approval seeking. It creates a persona, a mask that feels like your identity. The more you feed it, the further from your true self you get. Aspects suppressed to maintain this image. Anger, desires, fears are cast into the shadow. As the shadow grows, authenticity disappears. A brutal paradox. The more you please, the less you please yourself. The more accepted, the more you reject yourself. In molding to expectations, you distance from your greatest strength, courage to be you. This video explores how everything changes when you stop seeking approval. We'll touch on Jung's ideas, the persona, the shadow, and individuation, the journey to wholeness. But be warned, this path requires courage. Pleasing is comfortable, maintaining roles easier. But do you want acceptance or freedom? They rarely coexist without inner work. If you dare face this invisible prison, this could be a turning point. You weren't born to please, but learned it was necessary. Perhaps childhood taught you authentic feelings like anger or sadness weren't welcome. That acceptance was conditional. Be good, don't cause problems. This is the cradle of self-sacrifice, a coping mechanism turned psychic trap. You operate in constant alertness, scanning environments, reading micro-gestures, detecting what others want, offering solutions even if it costs your peace. You associate security with others' approval. Rejection feels like a threat to belonging. One of our deepest fears. Alfred Adler's psychology explains our fundamental impulse for belonging. When distorted, it generates compensatory behavior, sacrificing yourself to gain value in others' eyes. As the courage to be disliked shows, living to satisfy others' expectations means abandoning freedom, condemning yourself to anxiety. This cycle self-reinforces. Each yes when you mean no strengthens the image of the always available person. The more you reinforce this, the more people expect it, making it harder to break. You gradually erase yourself. Time and energy for your growth are consumed by external demands. You might rationalize it as enjoying helping, but deep down, fatigue and resentment grow. Why is it so hard to break? Identification with the persona. Why? Even realizing you negate yourself to please. Do you repeat the behavior? Why is no so hard? Why does disapproval make you revert? The answer, the persona, the psychic trap you built and now believe is you. Jung taught the persona is a necessary social mask, an intermediary. Without it, we couldn't function. The problem, identifying too much with it. You noticed certain behaviors brought acceptance, being helpful, saying yes. You were rewarded. Expressing real needs brought punishment. So, you built a persona, good, trustworthy, altruistic. But this persona isn't you, it's a role. Jung, the more you identify with the persona, the further from your true self your authentic core, desires, boundaries. The persona is seductive, offering belonging, protecting you from confronting difficult emotions. If you say no, set boundaries, express anger, you face your shadow, everything repressed to adapt. Anger legitimates selfishness, your will to assert space. As long as you don't confront the shadow, you remain trapped in the persona. Pleasing is an unconscious mechanism to avoid deep psychic aspects. You believe your worth lies in having no needs, always being strong, generous. But the price is extreme fatigue, anxiety, resentment, depression, emptiness, symptoms of a soul suffocated by the persona. True transformation requires going beyond the persona, facing what it hides, the shadow. Now that you've started to see the mask, understand the force keeping it glued, unconscious desire for social acceptance. This isn't rational, it's etched into your nervous system. As a child, belonging meant survival. Rejection meant danger. That programming remains. Adler. We're driven by a desire for belonging and value. Problem. When you believe your worth depends on others' acceptance. As the courage to be disliked details. Meeting others' expectations means losing freedom. Living by others' tasks. You act based on what you imagine others expect. Cruel aspect. You'll never control what others think. Trying to please everyone leads to exhaustion and emptiness. Every choice postponed for fear of displeasing. Every boundary not set. Every word swallowed, all vital energy given away. Breaking this isn't easy. Saying no, setting boundaries, activates suppressed guilt, shame, fear. These emotions keep the desire for acceptance running. Until you deal with them, you remain trapped. The most challenging moment, confrontation with the shadow. Jung. The shadow is all rejected, repressed aspects, weaknesses, flaws, unlived potentials, repressed anger, unacknowledged power. What you deemed unacceptable. What does this have to do with fear of disapproval? Everything. Approval seeking largely rises from fear others will see what you hide, what you can't accept in yourself. As long as parts are locked away, you're vulnerable. Criticism hits open wounds. Disapproval risks exposure. So you try to please, not to be revealed. Integrating the shadow is radically turning inward, saying, I see you, acknowledge you, accept you. It's painful, facing envy, aggression, pettiness, fragility, neediness. Denying them doesn't make them disappear. Repression strengthens the shadow's control. Integration allows these contents to emerge consciously. Recognizing dark feelings don't define you. Embracing your totality lessens dependence on external validation. No more secrets to protect. No need for an impeccable persona. Integration isn't acting on repressed impulses. It's making them conscious allies, not internal enemies. A whole individual doesn't fear rejection. They've accepted themselves. This ends the fear of disapproval. It's deep self-acceptance. You've understood your pleasing behavior is fueled by unconscious desire for acceptance. Your persona a mask to avoid the shadow. How, in practice, to break the self-sacrifice cycle? Awareness and action must go hand in hand. Understanding isn't enough. New experiences reprogram your emotional system. First, the conscious pause. When about to say yes when you mean no, or yield to a demand disrespecting boundaries, stop. Breathe. Count. Feel the discomfort, guilt, fear, shame. Don't flee. Observe. This interrupts the automatic cycle, creates space between impulse and response. Over time, you can sustain these emotions without yielding, choosing responses aligned with your values. Second, deliberately practice saying no. Start small, low-risk situations. Decline an unwanted invitation. Don't respond to a message immediately. Each no upheld, despite discomfort, strengthens autonomy, rebuilds trust in your right to exist authentically. Third, consciously reevaluate relationships. Who constantly tests boundaries, takes advantage, reduce contact. Relationships not respecting individuality reinforce your prison. Prioritize mutual respect, transparency. Fourth, communicate clearly. Pleasing persists because you've never clearly verbalized boundaries. Practice simple, direct phrases. I can't do this right now. This doesn't work for me. The more you express boundaries, the more people learn to respect them. Not everyone will accept your new stances. Some benefited from your self-sacrifice. That's okay. Your commitment isn't to please everyone. It's to live authentically. Finally, celebrate small victories. Each no, each prioritization of your time, each authentic act rebuilds inner freedom. Recognize and value these. Breaking deep patterns is a process. There will be setbacks. Don't blame yourself. Observe, learn, move on. Individuation is a continuous journey. We've reached the most important point. The cycle of self-sacrifice isn't just a bad habit. It's an invisible prison built throughout your psychic history, fueled by fear, guilt, shame, reinforced by identification with the mask you believed was you. But you are no longer that person living in others' shadows. If you've made it this far, a deeper part of you, what Jung called the self, is awakening. This part wants to live authentically, breathe, exist without the weight of pleasing everyone. Valuing your time, energy, worth isn't selfish. It's deep responsibility. Respecting yourself, honoring limits, not only frees you but enables more authentic, balanced, humane relationships. People-pleasing don't build genuine relationships. They build on fear, guilt. Only when you present yourself with clarity, truth, wholeness can others relate to who you truly are. Yes, this will scare some. Some will distance. Others resist. That's okay. Living to control others' perceptions is a recipe for unhappiness. You are here to live a life that makes sense to you, where choices are free, relationships true, where you can look at yourself with pride, knowing you did not sell out, betray, or nullify yourself to fit molds not yours. This is a courageous path, a journey requiring patience, presence, constant practice, but it's the only one to true inner freedom. Now, I want to hear from you. What impacted you most in this video? What pattern have you identified in yourself that you are ready to start transforming? Share in the comments below. Your reflection can inspire others. Exposing it is an act of liberation. If this video provoked you, challenged you, click the like button. It shows these conversations are needed, and there are many more layers to explore. So, subscribe to the channel to continue this journey of self-knowledge and transformation. Every step you take brings you closer to a life lived in truth. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.